Yes, here we go. That's me. Forgot to turn it on. 31-year-old, have about 10 years of experience in digital marketing, including 5 years. I think it's 6 years now, actually, doing just Facebook ads. And just to give you an idea on how much experience I have with it, I probably spent about 2 million USDs, doing USDs because I work a lot with the US as well. So 2 million euros, if you prefer, just in Facebook ads and Instagram ads, obviously. So I've seen the platform evolve, move, different strategies work, and then not working 6 months later. And, have been adapting, I think that's the right word, to the platform for the last 6 years. So if you have a question, I probably have an answer for you. But it also happens that I don't, because the platform is changing so much that every day I find new things. And that's what's the most interesting thing about doing Facebook ads. I guess, first of all, has any one of you here tried to do Facebook ads already, is doing, or want to? Can you just turn on your mic and tell me where you're at in your Facebook ads journey, if I may say? Yeah, go for it.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear cool. Someone.
Yeah, so I also worked for the digital marketing industry for like 5 years, but it's been 5 years. So I guess that so many things have changed. And I'm starting this week. I'm starting my Facebook ad strategy, actually. So it's awesome. Perfect for me.
Awesome. Perfect. Cool. In a minute, I'll probably take a lot of examples that you're having. So if anyone wants to talk about their specific audiences that you want to target, if anyone has a specific business case that they want to present to me so we can go over it, please prepare something. And when I call out, just say, hey, me in the chat, and then I'll pick someone, if that's okay with you. Okay, let's keep going. 1 hour is very short to go over this presentation, so I'll try to be quick. When you start doing Facebook ads, you're like, oh my God, this platform is a beast and I don't understand it. There's so many moving different parts that I don't understand and I don't know where to get started. And I totally get you. When you first look at it, it is a beast. There's lots of things to think about. There's lots of things to look at and you don't necessarily know where to start. So I tried to build this presentation so that it gives you like 5 steps, to tick, to be able to start your own ads. Obviously, the presentation go over things really quickly, and I'm not going into very much details about some of them. So if you have any specific questions, feel free to email me after. I'm always happy to help people. You can find me on LinkedIn or at Sophie Gambet, or just ask for the Creative Valley team for my email. They have it, obviously. So let's get started. Why is this not working? Here we go. So agenda, step 1, how to install all of your tracking and make sure that you have your business setting more or less sorted. Step 2, you'll need to define your objective and your strategy for your Facebook ads. Very, very essential. You need to know where you're going to be able to build a road. Otherwise, if you arrive at the tip of at the bottom of a mountain and you didn't realize there was one, then you could go around. It's complicated, right? So make sure you know where you're going. Very defining your audience, very, very important. And I don't want anyone to tell me, I guess my product is for everyone, because this does not work for Facebook ads or any type of business plans. Then copy and creatives. I'm going to tell you more or less what kind of copy, what kind of creatives works the best for Facebook at the moment. Hint, 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 creative and copy is probably the most important thing you can do on Facebook ads at the moment. Strategies were maybe a thing of 2-3 years ago, but now most importantly is to capture your audience eye and then heart. And finally, launching your ads. If we have time, we'll live launch a couple of ads onto a business account that I have specifically created for this together. But let's see if we have time for this. Cool, let's get started. So install all of your tracking and business settings. I am going to go over the business manager for a hot minute. It's taking a little bit. Okay, cool. So if you don't already, I highly suggest that you have or create an account on business.facebook.com. Very important. I don't want to hear anyone saying, oh, but I'm boosting my posts from Facebook. If it works for you and you have been doing it for a while and you find your results satisfactory, then by all means, you can keep going. But if you just get started or if you want to get things to a more serious level and well, more organized level, have a business manager in place. This is very important. Why is this important? It's because the business manager will help you to identify if all the different tools within your Facebook are well connected and not just let Facebook decide it, but also have a lot of have a lot of information about how how your ads are performing, because if you launch your ads directly from Instagram or for Facebook, you actually have very, very little control and very, very little data to base your decisions on. So this is very important. Once you access this by typing, it's just here, business.facebook.com. Very important. If you don't have an account, Facebook will prompt you to create an account. This account is connected directly through your personal business, your personal Facebook account. This is normal. Don't worry. It won't you don't need to connect through Facebook. Like you said, I just typed the business.facebook.com and it connected me through the business platform. But Facebook uses your personal Facebook to be able to connect and recognize you as a real person. Very important. If you have a fake name, I kind of have a fake name. My real name is Sophie Gambet, but on there I have Sophie Gam. It's okay, but don't call yourself little elves of the forest or whatever, because Facebook will have to verify your identity at some point and block your account if you fail to do so, or create a fake Facebook account for this. So make sure you're all straight and real with Facebook, with a name that is kind of at least kind of a real one, and then you can start using it. Once you start using it, I highly recommend that you go over to the business settings. It's always this little wheel that is at the bottom of my screen here. And once you click on it, you'll be able to verify that all of your assets are well in place. I'm deliberately going to go very fast over this way. If you have any questions, type it on YouTube. If you still can't find the answer, email me. First of all, verify who has access to your business, So here you see, this is one of my clients that's named Bibol. I have lots of them, as you can see. There is a difference between business accounts once you connect and your account. Your account is just your personal account. This is your Facebook thing where you can run ads, your personal things. Do not use that. You need to use an account like this, one, here we go. Bantan Digital is my business, one business manager. Make sure you have access to it. So I'm just going to go over to mine here. If Facebook wants to charge, yes, it is. Okay. So this is the one for my agency and my freelance work. I'm the only admin here because I'm the only one that I need to be. Don't do this. You need to have minimum 3 people added to your business manager. Something I need to do this myself. Make sure that your page is connected to it. As you can see, there's lots of pages connected, that you have an ad account connected. You can see a lot here. That you have your Instagram connected. You'll be able to see it here. WhatsApp, if you're running WhatsApp ads, very new. I know probably you're not doing this, but just in case. Pixels, very important. Make sure that your pixel is installed. I'll get back to this in just a second. Brand safety, make sure that your domain has been verified by Facebook. It happens usually just by having a little code installed into the head of your website. If you don't know how to do this, once again, YouTube it. There's really a lot of great YouTube that I can explain it to you how to do it exactly. Last but not least, there are payment methods, but that you already knew. Last but not least, on business info here, it helps you to see who has access, if you have entered your business details or not, and your info here, etc. You need to have at least those few things installed on your business manager and the pixel installed on your website before you do ads, and make sure that they're well connected in between each other. Now let's go over to the pixel. Because of course we can do ads, but then we need to connect them, to your website. Because otherwise, once you do ads and once a person clicks on one of your ad, goes onto the website, if you don't connect it with Facebook, then Facebook is blind and cannot actually know what happens afterwards. With the new privacy law, it's harder and harder for Facebook to know what's going on after. But we still have a whole bunch, I'd say 80% of the information that Facebook still needs to be able to optimize your ads, especially for purchases, etc. So the way that Facebook knows that your business manager is connected to your website is through something that is called a pixel. And a pixel is something like this. I'm going to show you. Okay, maybe this one. Okay, cool. Accept. Apparently I don't have access to this. Okay, cool, great. Can you give it to me now? No, no problem. Okay, you can find this through your events manager. That's the button I just clicked on, and you'll see that I have a lot of pixels here, thanks to my clients. So if you go into your pixel and you see this, that means that something is working. Doesn't mean that everything is working, but that means at least that Facebook is retrieving information from your website using the pixel and is sharing that information. So the information that the pixel is sharing is not only coming from your ads, but it's also coming from any type of activity on your website. Of course, people need to accept this through the cookies. If the cookies have been disabled, then Facebook cannot record the information and send them back to the business manager. I'll get back to this. If your RGPD outline is well integrated, which most people isn't. So, and if there are any issues, Facebook will usually tell in a diagnostic here. I can see that there's a couple of issues here. I'll get back to this later, but pretty much it tells you the amount of events, the amount of view content, add to cart, purchases, etc., that any given website has had in the last 28 days. The pixel, of course, has data for the last 28 days, but it doesn't let you have access to this for privacy reasons. So this is how you know if there is a pixel. So now you can tell me, okay, but what's a pixel? I don't really understand. So we went over this, a pixel, I'll get back to this. Okay, here. I'm gonna show you here, this better. So let's just go, okay, in the chat now, can someone give me one of your website? We're gonna check if you have a pixel when inserted this way. This way I can tell. I just need to find the chat again and I have some question. Cool, I'm going to respond to this. Okay. Okay, so margearmirage.com. Cool, let's have a look. There's this tool. Oh, no, this is not what I wanted. Come on. Yes, exactly. We can install the Chrome thing to check. This is what I'm going to show you. Okay, why is this not copy and pasting? This is absolutely killing me. Okay, here we go. So we'll cover. Yes, keep talking. Anwar, can you please? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so if you have an ad block, you cannot see whether there is a pixel or not. And you have this little tool called the Facebook Pixel Helper that tells you whether or not there is a pixel inserted on your website. Apparently, I can, hold on. Yes, there's one. Awesome. So as you see, the pixel did not fire until I accepted all the GDPR cookies to follow me. Something very important to remember, like, you know, the pixel is only available to follow whatever people are happy to. So you have 2 pixels installed on your website. Watch out. Facebook doesn't really like that. You know, he's a little bit, you know, you could have like a duplication of data being sent. It's kind of like, yeah, it's not a great way. There's many different reasons for this. The most usual one is that you have a different plugins or different apps installed on your website, and you insert one pixel, you gave the information of one pixel into one app and gave the information of another pixel in another app, so they enter in conflict, most likely. But you know, there are many reasons for this. So as you can see here, Facebook was able to record that I had a page view, and if I added something to carts, so let's just say this, ajouter au panier. Here we go. Suddenly we have 10 events recorded. So, and as you can see here, Facebook was able to see that I viewed the content, that I viewed the page, that I added to carts, which is all right, which is exactly what I did. And if you looked right now in your events manager, you will be able to see all of these events being recorded, which is great. And that means that you will be able to retarget me with your ads, you know, if you wanted to, because I have been tracked. And you will be also able to know whether I made a purchase or not. And you could like retarget me maybe 10 days later being like, hey, want another of these things? Why not? Cool. So this is what a pixel is.
And you said to remove the other one, right? Because I have 2. So
Can you
remove one of the pixels.
Yeah, you definitely
Okay.
should try to remove one pixel. Try to just to keep one if possible, unless you have a very problematic type of product that Facebook doesn't like and you want to safeguard yourself by having 2 pixels just in case. Facebook, I don't know, like close or block your business manager, but I don't think Facebook would ever block you here. So just keep one. It should be more than enough.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so I just created a group. So this is Patricia. I just created a group directly derived from my profile. If I want only to follow this group page, can I do this from the business manager area? The business manager doesn't deal with groups at all, not just yet. And I mean, depending on how your business works, I've seen people working through personal profiles on Facebook, but usually you can also create groups starting from your page or your Facebook page. And this way, you know, like you can better manage it and you have like better admin tools as well. So yeah, that's it. Groups are a bit different still, yet it's not quite well connected with the business manager. What's the difference between Suite, Facebook business, and Facebook business account? Great question. So because Facebook realized that the Facebook business manager was a little bit complex to get around, and you know their goal is people to just spend as much money as they can on advertising on the platform. They kind of made this halfway platform called the business suite, and usually you can tell the difference whether you're in a business suite or you are in a business manager by having this like black menu or like dark gray menu showing on the left hand side. I don't use it personally. I've looked at it many times. It's like a halfway. So you probably can do a few things and then that's it related to your page, etc. But you still don't have the full control of what a real ads manager would give you, pretty much. So that's the difference. Yes, and the Chrome plugin to check whether your pixel is working or not is a Facebook Pixel Helper. Here, it's free, it's easy to install. You just install it on your Google Chrome and it works like a charm. Just be careful if you have like an ad blocker, you need to disable it for it to work. If you don't have an RGPD pop-up, then the pixel won't work. Yes, it will work. If you don't have an RGPD pop-up, first of all, this is illegal, so be careful, and they will come for you, trust me. I have some clients to whom it happened. But yeah, of course, if you don't have an RGPD plugin installed onto your website where people can accept or not, then the pixel will work automatically, like straight away from the first seconds someone is on your website. No worries, Ariane. I think unless you're based in Switzerland, but I think it's only for Swiss people, because I have some Swiss clients and they were like, oh, we don't need the RGPD. I was like, great. But if someone else from the union comes to you, I mean, complex, but you'll have to have a look into the legalities of this. Cool. Let's go back to our presentation. Okay, so let's defining your objective and strategy. So obviously, Facebook ads can give you a lot of, you know, like a lot of possibilities. You know, like you can decide that you can tell Facebook, oh, I want more traffic to my website, so I will do a traffic. Oh, I want more engagement on my social media, so I'll do a social media. I want more purchases, which you can optimize for. I want more video views on my content. You know, like I created these great videos and I want people to see it and show my content to the people that are most likely to watch my video in the longest. All of this is great, but it's like trying to build a house without a plan. You know, you want walls, you know, you want a roof, but you actually need to know that you need to build foundations and you need to like build like the things to put up the walls or whatever before doing that. And it's the same thing with Facebook ads. So before even saying, oh, I want to do Facebook ads, you need to define exactly what you want to do. So for a lot of my clients, you know, like you may say, I want more purchases, and great, we will get there. But still, you know, it's not because you say to Facebook, I want more purchases, that Facebook will be able to give them to you. The reason is because I'm going to go back to the pixel, like what we had, like what we saw, is like the pixel helps actually Facebook making decisions on what happens with your ads. And you know, if this pixel is very new, it's like a baby, he doesn't know how to drink, eat, poop by himself. I mean, he does poop, but you need to change him. And it's the exact same thing with your pixel. Once you have like a lot of data and a few months of data, even weeks, depending on how much money you spend and how much traffic there is to your website, at the beginning, the pixel is just an infant that doesn't know where to look. So he'll just look everywhere and maybe getting himself lost. So when you define your objective, you need to take into consideration how much traffic you have to your website, what's your objective, how much money you're willing to spend as well. There is a difference in strategy, whether you're willing to spend $500 a month to $5,000 a month, which is completely different, right? In your cases, because if you're in this incubator, you're all starting your businesses, what I recommend the most is to start with like warming up your audience with what I call potentially, like an awareness campaign. We're going to use like the top of the acquisition funnel, like an awareness campaign. So maybe this awareness campaign comes via like a video view campaign, which is totally fine. Or it comes via a visit your profile, visit my profile ad on Instagram, or like this page campaign for your Facebook page, depending on your audience. If your audience is over 50, they're probably most likely on Facebook than Instagram. I mean, it depends, but most likely. So you need to think about that. And you need to think about Facebook ads also works like a funnel. You could have your awareness maybe coming from PR. In this case, you only need to retarget people that went into your website and maybe adding like a conversion campaign on top of it. But you need to think about this. And just because I forgot to talk about it just before, why I cannot, here we go. Facebook lets you choose within 3 objectives: awareness, consideration, and conversion. With awareness, you can have brand awareness. So Facebook tells you that the people who he will choose to show your ads are the most likely to remember your brand. This is what Facebook says. I've seen it work. I've seen it not work. So up to you. Reach is like show my ad to the most people possible, which can be great also. In consideration, you have traffic. Facebook will send the most traffic to your website possible. Can be great, can also be bad. Not a lot of traffic doesn't mean traffic that will convert. So be careful with that objective. Engagement, people to like, share, comment under my post. App install the app, video views, been talking about it. Lead generation, I want some lead being generated. Careful, it means that those leads are generated either for a pop-up, like on Facebook if you're on the desktop, or can be through Messenger as well, depending on how you set it up. Those leads are very cheap, but also not of very good quality usually. Messages, you can send to a chatbot or like an automation through Messenger, or WhatsApp now as well. And Messenger also on Instagram. And then you also have conversion. So a conversion can be anything that you define it to be. So maybe a lead, maybe add to cart, maybe a purchase, maybe a view content. Anything you want it to be. Catalog sales. So this is where Facebook is actually connected to the catalog you have on your website and will connect the dots. And if, for example, I went to website A and saw that blue dress, then Facebook will know to retarget exactly that blue dress to me, etc. I have a question here. Can someone let me in? Cool. Perfect. Okay. Do you have any questions based on these campaign objectives? And is everything more or less clear here? I didn't get that. Sorry. Can you be closer to your phone? Maybe you sounded really far. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go for it.
Okay, cool. So what do you recommend for starting a campaign, which is I want to, for my objective now is to have pre-registration, so to download the Get app. So
Yeah.
do I start with brand awareness, or do I start with this conversion?
So I would probably do thank you. I would probably do like a 2-tiered campaign. So one campaign for brand awareness, if you have videos, I'll answer your question just a second. So for Anwar, what I would do is like my first campaign would be like a video view campaign if you have great videos to show. If you don't have great videos to show, I would do an engagement campaign over your Facebook and or your Instagram content. Sorry. And then do a traffic campaign to your page so people can register for the lead magnet, if I understood well. And both going for a cold audience and a remarketing audience. Remarketing from people who have engaged from the previous campaign with your Facebook and Instagram content. I hope that's helped. Okay, one more question. Can we define more in details the objective under conversion and be sure to get what we want? So here's the thing. A few years ago, not a few years, I'd say a year ago you could. And what I used to do is to create my own custom conversions, being like lead coming from lead magnet number 20, because I would test a whole bunch of different lead magnet and see where they were coming from and what we were getting, etc. The problem is since the updates with iOS 14 and 15 now with Apple, Apple is blocking a lot of information being sent to Facebook, and those custom conversion, whilst you can still do them, doesn't work as well as it used to be. And because Facebook to, you know, like keep working as good as it used to be without the amount of data that they were getting, because Apple blocks a lot of their data being sent to the business manager from the Pixel, then it reduced the amount of events that you can actually put all your attention into. So the Pixel is like, how can I explain this in a very simple way? This is actually a very complex thing, but pretty much, unless you plan to have a lot of traffic and this specific event to follow you for the next few months, just use like a standard event. Don't do like a custom event anymore. It's not worth it. Okay, another question here, which is in French, which I'd live translate. I'd like to change the objective of my campaign, which is currently active. I am on link clicks and I would like to go on interaction with my publication. Yes, absolutely possible. You just need to duplicate this campaign and change the conversion objective in the first step. I hope that helps you, Alexis or Alexis. I'm not sure if how you say your name. Okay, not to worry, everyone. You'll have this presentation being sent to you, and straight after this, I've actually created some templates for you to follow. So campaign objective, audience, ad. This is pretty much how you should structure your campaigns most likely. Funnel example number 1, and then you have a whole bunch of like funnel example that I'm showing you how to do this, you know, even with like ideas of audience to test, etc. We can come back to this later. Just one note, don't go into a competition over yourself. Do not have 2 purchase campaign with the same audience running through it. You know, this is, you will cannibalize yourself and go in competition over yourself. So just remember this. Is parallel campaign worth it? What do you mean by parallel campaigns? Anwar, if you can. Ariane, I'm going. Yeah, Anwar, go first.
So you said that we should maybe start by awareness campaign and then to the lead campaign. So what if we did them in parallel?
Why did we do them what?
In parallel. So at the same time, we run the campaign with an objective for awareness, for reach, for example.
Yeah.
And the other to generating leads.
Yeah, absolutely. You should run them in parallel because they will feed each other.
Great, thanks.
Yeah. Parallel campaigns are totally worth it. I mean, like, it's not even that it's worth it or not. It really depends on how you're using the Facebook ads for. You know, like, what's your objective? If your objective like is multiple, then you have multiple campaigns running. It's not a problem at all. Question from Ariane: are you going to talk about A/B advertising on Facebook? Not today. You know, this is just one of the things you can do, but of course you can do A/B testing on Facebook. You can choose to do that. You can A/B test audiences, campaign objectives, you know, visuals, copy, etc. Anything can be done. And I highly advise to do it actually, because, you know, sometimes it gives you great insights. Cool. Defining your ideal target. Can anyone in the chat say me or yes? Me or yes in the chat for anyone who wants to work with me on how to define your ideal target on Facebook. This way we can go directly to the business manager. Okay, Anwar, I think like I've talked to you a lot. Varun, maybe? Okay, Varun, cool. Can you take, what do I have here? Okay. Cool. So we'll go with Varun. Varun, just keep quiet for now. I'm just going to go over the next few slides and then I'll call you out. So defining your ideal target group and how to insert audiences in Facebook to be able to target them. Sorry, Anwar, I've helped you a lot today. We need to give space to everyone else. 3 possibilities on Facebook. You have the custom audiences, you have the lookalike audiences, and you have the saved audiences. There's a 4th one called special ad audiences. This is advanced stuff, but pretty much if you run ads for political, social, discriminatory, anything like social related political purpose, you will have to request Facebook a special access first of all, and then you have to create your audience based on a limited amount of targeting possibilities, just to avoid, like another issue with Facebook like we had with Cambridge Analytica a few years ago. So which audience to use? Actually, each of these audiences have a specific purpose for Facebook and the way you use them within your campaigns. So you have the custom audiences, the lookalike audiences, and the saved ones. It's not personalized, it's saved. So custom audiences are based on the web traffic and conversion, meaning that whatever your pixel has been able to catch, or email list. You can very much insert your email list into Facebook, or Facebook and Instagram engagement, or your video views. If you send, this is the good thing, like the advantage about using videos organically on your social media and in paid advertising. It's because Facebook lets you retarget people that have seen your videos, like maybe 10, 20, 25, 90% of it, or just half of it, etc. And then personalized audience based on interest, demographic, and behavior. The custom, our question from Start Your Engine, does custom audience are still, lookalikes. Okay, are lookalikes still relevant within the new world of iOS 14? Well, yes, they definitely are. They definitely are. They tend to work, okay, so they tend to work as less than they used to be. Like before, for example, I would always my clients to just go straight with lookalike audiences, especially if they had some data. But nowadays, because the data is a little bit less, and it's a bit hard, maybe not. What works the best with the lookalikes now versus before, it was good to go with like the closest lookalike possible. So 1, 2, or 3%. If you don't understand this, don't worry, it's a little bit advanced. I'm just responding to Start Your Engine. Now I see better results starting from like 3, 5, or even 7, and even sometimes 10% lookalikes. So it just means that you need to give the algorithm a little bit more space for it to be able to grow and deliver results the way you want. But indeed, I have found that lookalikes work a little bit less than they used to be. Yes, you can just, enlarge. But just make sure, lookalikes work really well if you feed Facebook with really good data, and I also find with lookalikes that if you have phone numbers, they work better than emails. Just a side note. So test that. Cool. Okay. And no, what was it? That was Varun, or is it Gupta? I'm not sure which of your name to use. You will tell me.
It's Varun.
Varun, awesome. Thank you, Varun. So let's go over to audiences and tell me about your audience and who they are.
So my audience is a bit specific because I am targeting third culture kids and people who come from different cultural backgrounds. For example, someone born in France, raised in UK, and is now living in Dubai. So
okay.
When I think about targeting my audience, the demographic analysis is not really pertinent because psychologically their motivations and interests are extremely different from their nationality or the place
Mhm.
they're born in.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Can you tell me what's the product here? Would the kid buy it or would the parents buy it?
So I'm a fashion designer. I make ready to wear, women's ready to wear, and it's mostly for adults, 25 years plus.
Okay, so adults 25-year plus, but why did we talk about kids just before?
No, I mean, even if they're adults, the official term is called kids, third culture kids.
Third culture kids. Oh, man, so kids traveled a lot and are mixed cultures, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Or someone whose parents are from different countries, for example.
someone who's what? Sorry, can you repeat that?
So one common point, someone whose parents come from different countries. Mother is from one country, father is from another country.
Okay, cool, awesome. So a bit of background here. Because this is a complex, you don't make it easy for me, but it's okay. Varun, we'll get over
What
this.
did you say?
I said you do not make this easy for me, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So if Varun has a lot of data from existing customers, and I mean a lot, meaning like over 100 people that bought from one specific countries, let's just say France, then I would probably go and create a lookalike audience first. Why? It's because his audience is so complex to target with like demographic interest type of targeting that the safest way would go with a lookalike. But let's imagine now that Varun doesn't have anything, any data. This is the first time he's trying to sell his collection of clothing. Then our best chance is to go with saved audience. In saved audience, this is the audience that permits you to go and find targetings, like specific targeting. So I'm just gonna call it Varun audience 1. Okay. So Varun, where is your audience based?
What do you mean?
Where are they living now?
Uh,
Varun? We cannot hear you anymore, I think.
Hello?
Yep. So where is your audience living right now?
Yeah, so they live all over the world. I don't know where they live right now.
Okay. You know, for first time Facebook audience, it's better to target like one region maximum. Like a country is better, but if you tell me they live
Okay.
all around the world, let's just say that they live in Western Europe. Would that work for you?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So in Western Europe, we have France, we have Germany.
Okay. So I would target more like the UK and France, and
The
maybe
UK.
Spain.
Okay, great. Maybe Portugal as well?
I'm not sure about Portugal, but I'm sure about UK and France.
Okay, great. So as you can
Because
see,
I'm saying these two countries specifically on the basis of price point.
okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, so Facebook gives you an estimate straight away on the audience you're looking at. Because we haven't put any specific targeting on or anything like that, the estimated audience is like 117 million to 138 million. This is way too much, especially when we start warring up the pixel. So we're gonna try and reduce this a little bit.
Yeah.
So Varun, you told me that your audience starts from 25 years old until
Yeah.
what age?
52, 55.
This is too big. We need to reduce it a little bit. We want to go from one
Okay,
type
so
of-
we can. So maybe let's target 30 to 45.
Okay, 30 to 35. Once your pixel has a little bit more data, totally go for a large audience, a large age span. But right now, the pixel is very new. Like Varun doesn't have, as we remember, like I'm not saying this is your case, but you know, because this would be the case of most people here, barely has had any order outside of his friendship groups. It's just starting his business. Once you find new customers that he doesn't know, you actually need to be relatively specific and look for an audience that is about 1 to 2 million, maybe a little bit bigger here because we're very international, just so to give like a little bit more constraint about your algorithm, your pixel and the algorithm, sorry, to be able to find your audience. And this is why I'm like, no, we need to reduce it a little bit. But by all means, once your pixel is warmed up, you know, sometimes a little bit like 18 plus to 65 plus, and it works perfectly, but not in this case. At first, you need to start going slow. What about the languages? Would you say that they all speak English?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So because we have such a specific audience, and even though those kids probably are multilingual, the fact that we just speak English, meaning that, you know, even if they're in Spain, they're going to get targeted with an ad that is in English, that actually gives us an advantage point in terms of like media buying, because we will be completely different than any other ads that are probably being served right now on Facebook. You know, if they speak English and they currently are in Spain, or if they are in the UK, or they're in the UK, it's not really that, but or they're in France, etc. Okay, now detailed targeting. So the detailed targeting can be anything about the demographics, the interests, or behavior. You need to think about it broadly and think about how your people evolve. And this is where it's really important to know your audience. For example, yesterday, I was doing this exact same talk with another incubator in Germany. And one of the women was selling jewelry. But you know, not the type of jewelry like simple bags or whatever, but was selling jewelry that went specifically to well-traveled women that had a specific taste and specifically liked special brands. And because she knew exactly about the brands, about the habits, about whatever product her potential audiences learned, then she could insert them into the detailed targeting here and target those people. But if you don't know this about your audience, it's a little bit hard. So make sure you know exactly who your audience is and how they live, who they like. You need, like, what I like to say is like, you need to have like a very specific picture, like of who the person you're trying to target in front of you. So Varun, is there anything you can tell me about your audience that could pertain here?
Okay, so they travel a lot, almost
so we
almost
can,
two times a month.
Yeah, so we can totally put up frequent travelers.
They have high-paying jobs.
Frequent international travelers, yeah.
Okay.
High-paying job. So we can put high net worth individual. Careful.
Yes.
I mean, you know, some of this targeting that we're putting through work only in certain countries. So for example, I know that the income targeting mainly works in the US, but not outside. So even if you find it, it doesn't mean that you'll have people within your country. So be careful. So frequent travelers, high net worth individual. Okay, just a second, Varun. We are now at about 4 to 5 million, which if the pixel was warmed up, I would actually stop here and be like, hey, let's test this and see how it works. But right now, because the pixel is not well targeted, I will narrow down this audience a little bit. So here we're going to narrow the audience. We could also exclude, you know? Yep.
Can we enter like competitor brands they shop, for example?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. This is a great one. So competitor brands, but they need to be really big brands. So Facebook can have them, you know, in file. I mean, like have them in this. You know, like you would have Victoria's Secret, but you wouldn't have Station F. You can't target Station F because it's not a brand big enough, for example.
Okay, so let's try Y Project as a competitor.
Okay, how do you write this?
Like Y, the letter Y, and then project.
It's not there.
Jacques Muse. It's
Neither.
no, Jacques Muse. It's one word. Jacques Muse. Queemuse.
Not there.
Acne Studios.
Yes, Acne will be there. Okay, perfect. So, and we are now very low actually. So 3,053 to 4,015. It's a bit low. So what I would
Okay.
advise Varun right now is to actually add a few more here. And if you don't know what to add, because we already have this one brand, you can actually check and click on suggestion. The suggestion box from Facebook actually works
Okay.
really well and can give you ideas on what you might
Mhm.
want to add next. So if I click here, I guess APC as well could work well. It's the same
No.
brand, very similar to Acne Studio.
No, Isabel Marron.
Isabel Marron.
Balenciaga, yes. Balenciaga is perfect.
So- should be there. Yes. Okay, and now we are still the same, huh? It's a bit small. Okay.
We-
That may
Maybe
work.
we can add more countries. I don't know.
Yeah, we could also add more country. So I'm just gonna stop there because this was just to give an example, Varun, but thank you very much for giving out your interests, and you can of course reuse this later on for your ads. So
Mhm.
as you can see here, creating an audience on Facebook can come with many different ways. We can either install, like an email list with or without value. So the value of how much they purchased on your website already, which is really good. And I don't know if you heard me earlier, email addresses and phone number works better than just email addresses. This is what I found recently with my with inserting, because the thing is, you need to think about, once you insert an email list or phone number list to Facebook, Facebook will then try to match that audience with people that it already has on the platform. So it's important that the data that you provide them is of really good quality. Varun, can you mute you, please? Because we can still hear you. Yeah, thank you so much. And when you think about, and when you create a saved audience, I want you to start small, like start with one country, even if you know you want to go for international. Here was very different. I would have gone like I did with Aaron, like trying to target like France, United Kingdom, maybe the Netherlands, maybe Portugal, those countries, etc. Because it's a very specific audience. What I mean here is that you want to try to reach 1 to 2 million audience size maximum for your first trial at audiences on Facebook. Very important. And when you think about targeting, you can always go for men, women, different ages, but you can also think about the exclusions. So we went through the narrow road here. So we said, okay, people that like this, and then maybe like something else. But you can also say people that like this, but make sure you don't include people that like this. So for example, in terms of like, if you want to target people that have families, you can target parents, and you can exclude people that don't have kids. So think about this, like there is many different ways to actually build your audiences, and many different ways of doing this. Trial a few ones, like right now we're trying frequent international flyers, high net worth individual, and Balenciaga. But one thing that could be really interesting here is actually invert the targeting. So start with like people that like Balenciaga, Acne Studio, and Isabel Marron, and then narrow down to people that are frequent international travelers. So just check, and try a few things and see which one works the best. Cool. Let's go back to the questions. Anwar, how do we know whether the detailed targeting works in the country we're targeting? Facebook will give you this, the estimated audience size, usually. And if there is really no one in your country that fits that, then it means that the targeting doesn't work. This is the best guess the best advice that I can give, because really, we don't know. And Facebook doesn't know either. This is an estimate. Whether it's a real estimate or not, and that's another question, but this is all we've got for to work with. Okay, here's my favorite part, best performing ads. Woohoo! Unless someone has more questions about how to create an audience on Facebook. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, going once, going twice, going third.
I have a question. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it, Varun.
When we're defining the different demographics, is there a minimum or maximum number of demographics we should work with?
No, definitely not. No, you can test as many audiences as you like. For what I would say though is like per campaign, try not to test more than like 5, maybe 6 different audiences, simply because then the algorithm doesn't optimize as best. You know, like right now, Facebook like to keep things simple and to keep things at a minimum. So make sure that actually you don't try to test at the same time. That is, because you can test as many as you like, you know, over time. But at the same time,
Yeah.
try to test no more than 4 or 6 audiences, something like that. Okay, Manon says, I have just launched my website. Whoever is not muted, can you mute yourself? Yeah, thank you. I have just launched my website, then I launched a Facebook ads and Instagram story kind. I was wondering, what's the best number of days for running an Instagram ad? What is your advice? I like to say that people don't do the same thing on a Monday than they do on a Wednesday, that they do on a weekend. So if you have a smaller budget, let it run for at least 7 days, 7 full days, and see what happens. Or if you have really big budget, let it run for like 3 to 4 days before calling it quit or calling it a win. As simple as that. Is it the same way to do it on Instagram? Yeah, I'm not sure. Anything that I've shown right now, you can actually do this for Facebook or for Instagram. The platform is the same. It only means that you choose a placement afterwards when you put in your ads. What's the best budget for 7 days? It depends on your audience size. You want to make sure to give enough budget so that the algorithm has enough juice, like the same for a car to put gasoline in. You know, you need enough gasoline to get you home. If you don't have enough gasoline, then at some point you're going to stall and your car won't be able to advance anymore. Same thing with Facebook ads. I guess for... So Manon, you wanted to do, this is a story ad on Instagram story. And this is when you launch. I guess if you followed my advice and have, you know, an audience that is in between 5 to 2 million, and you want to promote that story, and that story is only on Instagram, you know, I'd say to test it, if you're in the testing phase, $5 a day, €5 a day, €3 a day. But if this is work and you really want, you know, for it to go over and deliver some real results, maybe $10 a day, something like that. And also, what is the better range of age? There's no better range of age. There is who is your audience, what age they are, and how they're interacting with the platform. As I said earlier, they're 50-year-old, you're most likely to actually find them on Facebook rather than Instagram. If you have an audience that is like teens or pre-teens, maybe they're not even on Instagram, they're on TikTok or Snapchat. So, you know, like you need to know your audience, you need to know their habits, you need to know how they're using the platform. They're like, what's their favorite social media platform? Very important. And that being said, it could be 50-year-old men who, for example, loves stand-up comedy and they're on TikTok, but they're 50-year-old, right? But they love stand-up comedy, and right now all of the stand-up comedians, especially during confinement, etc., went really big on TikTok and on YouTube. So this is where you'll find your audience. You need to think about who they are and how they use your audience, and that will give you all the answers that you have and all the answers that you need. Sorry. Okay, cool. All right, how we do? Oh, pardon, it's already 4. This presentation is too long. There's too many things to be said. Manon is asking, how many detailed targeting should we add to our audience? I have a hard time going lower to 3 million people with my audience. You know what? If you cannot go lower than 3 million, don't worry, just up your budget a little bit, and that should work perfectly. And how many details targeting? I mean, there is no minimum, there is no maximum, but if you put too much in, then Facebook doesn't really know what to do. It's like, if you give me too many directions, I'll forget the directions. But if you give me one simple, clear direction, put the water into the pot plant here, then, you know, I'll do it better. It's the same thing with the algorithm. Like, you know, keep it simple at first. Test a few different things. Once you have the win, and then once you have the winning targeting, you can definitely put them all together in a bundle to target better, and then up your budget and scale your ads. Cool. If you need to leave, you can. I'll keep going and finish this presentation. I guess we'll have another 20 minutes or so. And if you have to leave, don't worry about me. Just say bye in the chat, and you can catch a recording later. If that's okay with you, Alize or Chiara, I can't remember.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, great. Thank you. Cool. Best performing content for ads. It's a little bit simpler than what you think. So good copy is everything. And it's even more important right now. Remember what I said, that the algorithm is a little bit unstable because we've got iOS 15 or 14. You know, because Facebook have a harder time, I mean, it's getting better and right now, but because Facebook has a harder time knowing who you are and knowing who is your audience, you actually need to capture your audience straight away. They need to know that when they read your ads, that this is for them straight away. So content is most important at the moment, even more than strategies. And how to create good content? Well, let's not reinvent the wheel. The AIDA model is fantastic, I think, for ads, including titles and descriptions and etc. You know, generate awareness. Hey, I'm talking about Facebook ads right now. You know, 5 steps to start. No worry, Nathalie. Enchantée. Passe une bonne après-midi. 5 steps to launch your Facebook ads. You know, as simple as that. And that would be the awareness. And then maybe in my title, I would put, you will never have bad results again. You know, like, not only I'm giving you an easy way to solve your Facebook ads, and not only I'm proof dumping you, proof idiot you or whatever against bad results. And you're like, damn, I need to watch this ad. So think about your text as a whole. There is a text and then there is, you know, the title. The AIDA model is here to help you on how to, you know, like start writing it and start knowing what it is exactly. And like, it's like a guideline, really. So use it. It's very important. There are other, you know, models that you can follow. Of course, test them. You know, I'm not saying this is the best one, but if you have to start with one, this is probably the best one to start with. When we write Facebook ads, as I said, the first 2 sentences here are the most important. This is the one that Facebook will keep visible before rolling it up. And the title. With the first 2 sentences and the title and eventually the image, I need to understand from a blink of an eye that this ad is for me and I want to keep reading it. Now, I'm already seeing the questions being like, oh, do I write like 3 sentences or 20? Like, how long should my ad be? Well, test it. There's no simple rule to this. I have some clients for which longer copy works fantastic, because longer copy tends to actually put your future buyer in a frame of mind to buy your product. But sometimes 3 sentences, 2 sentences, even 2 words works best. I don't know. You need to test it. What I'm saying though is I do not discount something because you think that maybe it won't work. Test it before, always. Cool. Careful on Instagram ads. If you run only Instagram, then this like 2 first sentences and copy and title and whatever doesn't really apply, because as you can see, we only see the ad, and then, you know, like, whoop, the title is like hidden somewhere here, and, you know, people may see or may not see it. So in this case, if you run mostly for Instagram, you know, the image is the most important and needs to have all the information that the person needs to be able to click. And you're lucky because Facebook removed the 20% max 20% text maximum over the images. So now you can do whatever you want. So use it, very important. If you run out of ideas, damn, I don't know what to do, really, really hard. Well, Facebook has the most easiest spying tool available to your soul, the Facebook Ads Library. And let's go have a look right now because this is pretty cool. Okay, I still have a few people here. Does anyone here in the chat want to give me the name of one of the biggest competitors so we can spy on their ads? Yes, Ariane.
Can we do Y Project?
In the picture. Sorry, can you repeat that?
Can we try Y Project because it's a brand and atypical niche?
Yeah, Varun, I helped you a lot already. I'm gonna help Anwar again. She's Anwar. Karia. Okay, Ariane,
sure.
your turn. And Mina Goods. Okay, let's go for Karia. You have to tell me which one it is, and I'll need you to tell me because I don't have.
It's something about menopause.
Okay, let's have a look. Let me see if you find it.
I don't see anything, but I'm on my phone. So Hello, Karia, maybe.
Hello, Karia. Okay.
Yeah, medical and health.
Yeah, perfect. I got it. Okay, they're not running ads at the moment. So,
okay.
Yeah. Okay, there was something else that Sia gave me, Mina Goods. Okay, let's have a look. And they probably have Facebook. Oh. Okay, Mina. Cool, let's have a look for that. Oh, I cannot find it.
Or can we do Nabla Health?
Nabla Health. Yes, they have ads. Thank you very much. Okay, Nabla Health. They have ads and are pretty new since the 4th of January 2021, so not even a year. And actually, you can see that they spent a bit of ads on social issues, $200. Interesting. Okay. And here you can see all of their ads. And if they are social political issue ads, then you can see them forever, which is really cool. If you have the time, go and have a look at the Trump ads. Really interesting. You're gonna love this. So you can see here that they're using rich ads without button. They're using like authority ads or social ads, or like, hey, like, we've got a great grade here on thingy. Videos, erosion zones, tendinites or whatever. Okay, cool. Oh, and they're using Facebook ads also to promote their webinars or whatever it is. Okay, that was the ads that were launched in March 2021, but it's still running? No, it's inactive. Okay, cool. So all that to say, now you know that this type of ads work. They've been launching them in November 2021, like since a few days. If this is your competitors, what I would do is to check their ads over time, maybe like for a few weeks, to check if they're changing a lot and notice that what is sticking. If something seems to be sticking, then it means that this type of ads is working really well for them. And if it works well for them, it will work well for you. So you can totally not copy it, didn't say that, but recycle it to your sauce, just use it in maybe in like a little bit of a different way, or see what other people do. And if you see that they're recycling a lot of ads, it means that they're not working. If you see that they're sticking to a certain type of ads, it means that this type of ads is working. And then, they cannot make the work for you. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't test yourself, because sometimes, sometimes it may work for you because your positioning is different, because your audience is different, etc. Have a look at a business manager if you don't have any ideas of where you want to get started. Just get some ideas here. And don't necessarily look for your competitors. Look for brands that you admire, that you want to get to. So let's just say that if I run a jewelry store and one day I want to have, you know, like the capacity of Tiffany's, then have a look at Tiffany's ads. Be like, okay, they're doing this, they thought about this, and they're doing this way. Oh my God, I'm going to do the same or something similar. Maybe also, you know, competitors doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you need to be afraid of them. You can actually work hand in hand. Cool. Let's go back to the presentation if I can find it. Here we go. Up. Few rules to follow for your ads copy and etc. No sexual reference, no false claim, no MLM, no bit.ly or URL shorteners. Facebook absolutely hates it. Little to no personal attribution. We do not use the U. No political ads, otherwise you need to get special permission from Facebook. Avoid using celebs and big brands name. Like for example, if you say like, oh, like Emma Watson, we are talking about sexuality. Doesn't work. You shouldn't do that. And if you're running ads about housing, employment, social issues, politics, you need special approval. Already say that. Strong visuals, big contrast. The Facebook in like the Facebook app right now is either really dark if you're in dark mode or really white if you're in like light mode. There's no color in this. So the more color you put, color blocky, the more it works. I'm going to show you the ads from Tiffany right now because I was talking about this. And they have this really cool ad. Look at this. Look how beautiful this is. Like blue light, something sparkly coming out, very Christmassy. Gets your eye out because there's also sparkles and it comes out to you. So, you know, great color blocking. Like the shoe, you know, that seems to come out of it. Yeah, it's great. Eyes, people tend to follow the eyes, you know, like if I'm looking at you right now, like, you know, like straight, like you will be attracted by my eyes because you feel like I'm looking at you straight away. Well, maybe not, but you know, eyes actually work well. And this is why you also have a lot of people looking at you in ads recently, like usually, or, you know, like all of these ads for big NGOs. Like, you know, there is this ad that was in the subway, like with this little kid looking at you, like the sticker called poor, like pauvre on it, looking straight at you. You couldn't escape his like his regard, français. You couldn't escape his look. So, and that works really well marketing wise because your brain is still a reptilian brain and it's like, oh my God, something is looking at me, you know, maybe he wants to attack me. Maybe I need to prepare. Obviously the kid in the picture is not going to attack you, but your brain doesn't know that. It still reacts on a biological survival level. And this is how it will interpret it. And this is why you cannot stop looking at it, even if you don't care. It's really hard. So think about this. And same thing applies with like lines that aren't straight, you know. My lines are really straight and they are not a threat because your brain analyzes them very quickly. But let's just say I start doing this and you're like, what the fuck is this woman doing? Well, I'm actually like signaling your brain that I may be a threat to you because you need a little bit more time to process whatever is in front of you. And so you'll need add that, you know, that do something like this. Anyway. I'm getting lost. Oh my God, I think I'm getting tired here. Cool. This is not for you. Canva. Canva is fantastic. You don't need to have a graphic designer to do great ads. You have Canva with great templates. Switch them a little, make them sparkle. You know, it's absolutely fantastic. Use Canva. Canva is your best friend if you don't have money for a graphic designer to do all your ads. Always test multiple creatives. You know, you can put videos, carousel, images. So let me show you for one of my clients what we do. Actually, I'll just put you here. No, there's a Facebook ads library. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, clothing brand here. You know, I have videos. I have lots of videos. I have like just single images. I have carousels. And I have, oh, it doesn't show it here, maybe later. But also have collections. You know, like, and just like pack shots, you know, people that wear the clothing, like clothing that like really close. We have many, many different type of creatives, you know, get creative, show your product in a few different lights, give testimonials in pictures from your clients. You know, there's lots of different things to be done here. Where to place my ads? So you can see that in Facebook, as I said, you can choose to either put them on Facebook and Instagram or just stories. Maybe just Facebook stories, maybe elsewhere, just for WhatsApp. Test everything first, put it on automatic placement. And then once you know a little bit more about your audience, you can, of course, select your platforms. But as unless you know that your audience is 50-year-old and they know they only hang out on Facebook, then keep it on Facebook, obviously. Except if you want to test Instagram, because 50-year-olds also hangs out on Instagram. So, you never know. But test everything. Don't assume that because you don't use it, like I don't use Instagram Explore, for example, and I would be tempted to take it off. And I was like, oh, well, but no one uses it, aka me, but people use it actually. And maybe your audience is using it. The algorithm actually knows better than you do. So keep it on auto. Unless you know for certain that your audience doesn't only use this thing, and then go for it. Test everything once again. And don't forget to optimize for each placement. If you have a video, like in Square, Story, larger format, very important. Few rules on visuals. You can put text. Once again, as I said earlier, no nudity or sexual content, no before and after image for weight loss or whatever. Facebook absolutely hates that. Optimize for each placement. If you do a video, the first 3, I would say even the first second is essential. So people stop and watch your video. You have just 1 second to convince them, really. Okay, we are ready to launch. I don't think we have time for me to show you exactly how to do it, but if you have questions, now is the time. Yes, maybe anyone?
I have a question.
Yes, go for it, Ariane.
So, as I'm saying, I'm talking about menopause. So it's not sexual content, but it's body content.
Yeah.
How do I get along the censorship?
Well, you're going to have to be a little bit smart. I think that's the short and sweet answer to it. So, and you're going to have to be very, how do I say this? Like careful with your testing. So what I do with clients like this is, usually when I have the ads, I just like put all the ads at once and then test and do a lot of modifications and blah. But when I have clients that have products like this, I would insert just a few pictures at a time, see if they're approved, and then add a few more. And then, go very slowly with the platform. And if they start rejecting your ads, just go straight over to the Facebook helper, the chat, and just ask them, you're like, hey, I see that my content is disabled, can we do something about it, etc. And they might be able to put like a little tick on your site, so you're not how do you call that, like disapprove as much as you can. But unfortunately, it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be hard for you, harder no matter what. And you're going to have to be careful and reduce the use of like sex, sexuality, sexual in general, reduce the use of like trigger words. That's it. Right. I don't have a straight answer. I'm sorry. It's actually very difficult. And Facebook being Facebook, it's not like you can be, hey, but I am a menopause type of thing. So you're going to have to be careful and smart.
Okay, thanks.
No worries. Any other questions? I see there's some maybe in the chat here. Yeah, okay. Fashion brand mostly use celebrity pictures in their ads. There is not much creativeness in the content. When competing with this type of advertising, any tips on how to stand out? It's not because all the fashion brands are using celebrity in their ads that you should do it too. Like most of my clients, I have a few clients actually in fashion and men's and women's wear, and they don't, they certainly don't have the money for fashion brands. And for them, what works the best is the promises of their brand. One of my clients actually do semi sur mesure, so semi fitted to you. You can order your clothes, it comes in 3 weeks, and it's very cheap actually. It's made in Europe, and you can choose the length of your pants, the length of your like the thing here, I don't know how it's called in English, to suit your body, because not everyone has a standard size. So obviously, like if work on your promise brands, why you're better, why why they should buy from you. I think that's the best way of looking at it. Instagram rejected my Instagram shopping. I don't know how to contact them to understand why. Manon, what are you doing already? What's your product, Manon? If you can tell me. I upcycle clothes.
Sorry. Yes, I upcycle clothes. So what I do is I take like clothes and I change them like with embroidery and like this type of thing.
Yeah.
And like they say that my brand, like your account is not approved for Instagram shopping. They say misleading, deceptive, or offensive products. So I don't get why it is offensive because I don't do anything offensive. It was like,
yeah. So what happened, I think, is that you probably had a couple of products rejected, and this is an algorithm. There is no people behind it being like, oh, this is offensive, you know?
Okay.
Something must have triggered them. You need to actually contact Facebook, and the best way to do that is to hop on the chat with them. You need to go type in Google Facebook business help. And, you know, like try to find the chat within that. And once you find the chat, explain them what's happening and they may be able to help you. Or at least like send a request for a review.
Okay, thank you so much.
No worries. Can you tell us 3 bullet points on how to launch Anouar? Well, the thing is, like, you can't say in 3 bullet points, like, you know, have your strategy ready, make sure that like your tracking and everything is connected, have great content, and then launch. That's as simple as that, you know? But of course, like, I can just tell you this, you know, like, well, this is not helping me. Like doing Facebook ads is complicated. It's even more complicated because so many people are in it and you're actually like battling for people's attention. So it's not easy. And it's maybe not for your business, honestly. There are many ways, you know, like think about Pinterest, think about Twitter, think about LinkedIn, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I hope that answers your question, Anouar. Do you have any more questions? Everyone? Tac. So my brand is less than a year old. I launched at first on the Google Ads 1 week ago. Okay. Yeah. Do you still run your agency? Yeah, I still work freelance. This is what I do. Like I've shown you ads for my clients actually a couple of times and stuff. Is there any metrics on how to decide how many clicks are viable? Yeah, there are definitely some benchmarks. For example, if you run a traffic campaign, if your CPC is over 50 cents, and even 50 cents is very high, then you definitely have something to optimize, whether it be your audience or your creatives or your placements or what it is, you know. If you're hoping for clicks on a video, I don't know. I mean, sometimes it works. I was proven wrong like just a couple of days ago with a client's campaign, but yeah, like 50 cents per click on the traffic campaign, mark my words, traffic campaign, 50 cents per click is a lot. You should get to 10, 20, maybe 30. Okay.
I didn't understand what you said. It should get us 20, 30 what?
Cents. So you should, if you're running a click campaign, so a traffic campaign, your cost per click shouldn't be more than 10 to 30 cents. If you're at 50 cents, that's probably like benchmark. You should be able to get lower. And if you are about that or higher, it means that you probably need to change either your creatives are not good enough, or your audience is not good enough. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. I'll share it
Yeah.
with you, but since we start talking about optimization, I'm just gonna show you this. Okay. Share screen. Okay. So if you look at my presentation in the back, I'm actually giving you some like a little of a table to help you like optimize your ads. So are you converting? Yes. If you're converting, then maybe it's fine. But if you're not converting, you know, map out the success rate of all of these stages: link, click, landing page view, add to cart, purchases. And this is for like a purchase campaign or whatever. And then as you go, I'll add more questions. Is your CTR good? Yes, no. Is your CPM too high? Yes, no. And like given on your answer, I give you a few tips on where to look for and what to look for actually. So have a look at this presentation. It will give you more information than I gave today, simply because we didn't have the time. Any more questions? Going once, going twice. Okay, great. Well, okay, very insightful. No worries, Anwar. Happy to help. I hope you learned something today. Sorry, I was a bit fast on some of the topics. It was definitely a lot to go through in just 1 hour. If you have any questions, happy to help people. Just send me an email or just look on Facebook, look on YouTube. Lots of great videos in English to help you out, and also stuff. There is a Théo Lyon in French, Kudak, that does really, really great videos. I'm actually learning sometimes from him as well, or just, great reminders. And in English, Adlix. Adlix is your best friend. They have a newsletter and a Facebook groups that has been very helpful to me, actually. So if you need help, you can go for them as well. Thank you everyone for joining today. And I don't know, have a great of the day.
Thank you very much, Sophie.
No worries. Bye, everyone.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Merci.